What is up, guys? Welcome to Crypto Bros. My name is Rodney. Happy Stone Cold Day. Yes, it is 3/16, March 16th, one day before St. Patty's Day. Welcome to tonight's video. Initially, this was actually going to be a video on Theta token, the rundown. I got in on Theta actually at a higher price point than it is now, but it was maybe December or early January, but I held off. CryptoBud actually just put out a really nice video on there, and there's been some buzz on Theta floating around Twitter, so I kind of backed off that. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to look at a couple articles tonight that are floating around this week that have more of a positive inflection on the crypto market as opposed to a negative one. As we can see here, we're obviously on Binance. A little green resurging in the market. Always nice to see some upward mobility, especially after we're coming off downs and downs and downs and downs. The thing is here, it's like we're not here at all-time highs. We're just coming off super low reports or supports, but regardless, it is nice to see. So anyway, if we flip over to CoinCheckup, Bitcoin dominance 42, almost 43%. Global market cap still right around $3.29 billion. And I mean, obviously, no surprise here, right? People have been referring to this all over the place as of lately, just being blood in the streets. Obviously, plenty of good buys out there. I mean, look at that. Neo under $70, tons of good buys. Tash about to break under 400 at 424. Monero approaching the $200 even mark. IOTA $112. VeChain 398. They actually had their big article this week regarding the staking model, where you can start having enough coins, getting it into a traceable wallet where you would then qualify for a node. So you can check that out. I don't have the article pulled up here, but I can track it down, or you can Google it. OmiseGo, $11. What else is going on here? DigixDAO always doing well in the downfall of Bitcoin, so no news there. But still, guys, bottom line, if you have disposable income, you can still get in on literally some of the best buys on any of these coins in the last 4 or 5 months at least. So good news for anyone playing the long game, and I think most of us around here are. So anyway, that being said, let's jump into these articles. The first one on hand is actually pretty cool. It says Bitcoin Lightning startup goes beta with Twitter CEO backing. If you don't know anything about the Lightning Network, it's kind of been talked about and been in motion for the last, I think in this article it says 2 years, but people have kind of been looking forward to this. This is like a scaling solution for Bitcoin, and really there's two camps here. Like there's the camp that thinks Bitcoin is a store of value, something like gold, something that you wouldn't want to spend or transact with and then there's the other camp that is they want to see some type of ordeal where you can buy a cup of coffee or buy some trinkets or whatever it may be, regularly with Bitcoin. Depends on what camp you're in, whether you like this or not, but either way, it is cool for the space. So really what this kind of talks about is it says, while this software is one several are seeking to form a combined network that aims to make cryptocurrency transactions cheaper and faster, today's development effectively takes Bitcoin a step closer to new kinds of applications such as Internet of Things payments and recurring billing. Then it kind of just goes down here and talks about they did get some back-end investing. It says, still the Lightning Labs software is believed to be the most mature software to date, and investors are still using the launch to signal their interest. Also revealed today, Lightning Labs raised $2.5 million from nearly a dozen investors, including Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, Square Capital executive Jacqueline Reese, Litecoin Reese's. I don't know, guys, I can't read. Don't judge me here. Litecoin creator Charlie Lee, obviously we all know him, and former PayPal COO David Sachs. And then there's a couple quotes down here. A couple of guys didn't want to make a comment, but it says this is from the PayPal CEO. It just says Lightning is the most important protocol being built on Bitcoin, and Lightning Labs is the best developer of that protocol. And he also says this is something. This is from Ben Davenport, and it just says this is something the entire community has been focused on and working towards for the better part of 2 years now. It's really a culmination of a lot of work by many people, not just Lightning Labs. We see it as a very important piece in scaling solutions for Bitcoin and perhaps other digital currencies as well. So, fairly cool article there. Obviously, some good news. Most people, in terms of sending Bitcoin, really default to, if you're making any type of transactions, whether it's from your Coinbase, whatever, most people don't necessarily like to send Bitcoin, as the price has generally always been higher as opposed to like an Ethereum or a Litecoin or something like that. So, Article 2 also came out. It says Ethereum's first production scaling project is here. And in this article, this talks about a little tech company called Loom Network and kind of what they're doing to help the Ethereum platform scale. And then I'll just kind of read a couple snippets here, and I'll post all the links to these articles below, and you can actually kind of read a little more about that. It's a fairly short article, but it says Techstars incubated startup has launched what looks like the first production-ready platform designed to increase the capacity of Ethereum. Obviously, this is something that's been in talk and people are excited about for a long time. If you don't know what plasma is, and actually I'll refer to that in just a second, it was Vitalik's basically solution for the scaling on Ethereum. We'll get to that in a minute, but and then it goes on to say it's called Loom Network. A little-known company is today releasing a developer toolkit that makes it possible to deploy scalable Ethereum apps on the second largest cryptocurrency network, effectively leapfrogging ongoing efforts such as Raid Network and Plasma. So if you don't know again what Plasma is, this was like Vitalik's. This is a little link that's within the article. This is Vitalik's like solution that they've been working on in terms of scaling and having a higher throughput in terms of Ethereum's operating system. So this came out, and then it just kind of breaks down what they're trying to do and how it's going to work. So it's a fairly cool read, still short. Again, these articles will be down below. Obviously, this one's been talked about a lot this week, and this is just Google. Says they're basically going to be banning all crypto-related ads starting in June 2018. A lot of people looked at this as like a negative thing, and while it could be, I don't think it's for the fact that it's negative because cryptocurrency is a negative thing, but it's more so of a protection measure. Like there are so many scams out there just because there's nothing to protect the. I think I just spit everywhere. There's nothing to protect the everyday consumer. Obviously, we see this stuff all over Twitter. Facebook did their ban. Now Google. If you guys think about it too, like Google ties in to YouTube. So I'm wondering if they're going to start pulling those. I would assume that's the case. They would start pulling that stuff off YouTube. It doesn't say that in there, but if you remember, like the Bitcoin guy, the Craig, whatever, where he screws up the ad twice in there, like stuff like that. Obviously, everybody remembers Trevon James. So all those type of things are going to be pulled off there. I don't think there's going to be any type of like click ads in here. They're just really doing it as a protective measure, and I think that's an okay thing, right? We don't want to see good people get scammed, get a bad taste in their mouth, and it's happening every day. So fairly good, and you never know. We're talking about ICOs, people taking millions and even billions of dollars on stuff like this. So anyway, I don't think this is a bad thing, really, to just see the new or average user being a little more protected if they're not well endowed in this situation. I think is a good thing. But I can absolutely see how it is, or it could be considered negative. And the last one, I tweeted this earlier. My tweet said, take it for what it's worth. One of the dudes on my that I chat with on Twitter, his comment was a lot of speculation, and I agree. There is, and it really doesn't tie in very much. I think it's a catchy title, but it says Trump's new economic advisor hints at friendly tax policy for crypto investors. I don't necessarily know that that's the true case here. Really, the only thing that it says that could even lead to that, I think, is maybe these two little sentences right here. And it says, earlier this week, Trump announced that he tapped Larry Kudlow, to become the new White House economic advisor, filling a post left vacant by outgoing advisor Gary Cohn. Kudlow is a former Bear Stearns economist, that's hilarious, economist and CNBC contributor. He said during a lengthy interview with the former network that he wants to implement a phase 2 of the White House tax overhaul, a reform package that should include a lower capital gains rate. And really, that is it. Then they go on to speculate that this could be tied to cryptocurrency. So again, when I posted this on Twitter, I just said take it for what it's worth. It is fairly, I would say it's super speculative and almost a stretch at this case. But the reason I'm sharing that is because this has some positive connotation towards it. Obviously, there is a ton of stuff going on right now in this sector of crypto, and even if we shoot over to Twitter here, if you guys missed this the other day, the congressional hearing to address ICOs, I didn't watch this all the way start to finish. It is like 2 hours long. I kind of listen to some of these videos and stuff while I drive and whatnot. I'm at the gym, but the overarching theme is it was, and actually they say this about every time there's some type of big deal like this. It's like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Obviously, there's opinions versus opinions, and like if you kind of scroll through this Twitter page, there's just these are all like quotes that came from different people in there. But I don't know. I think Data Dash, he even considered it fairly positive. Crypto Bobby did the same, and I find that that's usually what people say after these things happen. So yeah, if you want to take some time to listen to it, I totally recommend it. It's fairly dry, but you can pick up a couple good nugs in there in terms of like data and people's opinions and inform your own. So overall, if you don't really want to care, overarching goal here, fairly positive or mid-range, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. So anyway, that is all I have for you tonight, guys. Oh, and I guess since we're on Twitter, if you want to follow me on Twitter, I forget what my thing is. I am Rod Crypto God, and you can catch me over here. I'm posting all kinds of stuff. And speaking of this, I've seen Zilliqa, which I'm super pumped about, listed on a couple other exchanges this week, as well as Storm. So that's good news there. Oh, look at that. And also, if you haven't, there's that big, you can actually follow a couple of hashtags. I forget what they were, but there's that big cryptocurrency, I think it's called Token Fest. It's in San Francisco. A lot of big names there, presentation stuff going on, a lot of positivity coming out of that space. You can check that out. But again, if you want to follow me over here, Rod Crypto God. I am also on Steemit. Post my videos on here. As you can see, here's my best performing one at 39 cents, baby. So you can follow me over there. But anyway, I'll be posting all my stuff on these two as we go here. So I appreciate you guys sticking around. If you're enjoying these videos, by all means, hit the subscribe button, join our little community. We have some really good contributors out there, guys who bring some actual value to the table, not just dipshit comments down there. So I appreciate that. And if you like what I'm doing, toss me a like. Don't make fun of me for how many times I say and stutter. That's my thing. That's my thing. So anyway, if you guys are going out for St. Paddy's Day tomorrow, have a great time. Be safe, and I will check you guys in a day or so. See ya.